Hi, I'm Ryan Malyar, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of Marlborough Minute. The summer's wrapping up, and with the end of the summer, that means that our intern is leaving, and we've had the absolute pleasure of working with Mr. Jack Brzenk for the past 2 years, and now he's going on to so many more exciting things. College is ahead of him. But I just wanted to check in with you on your last day and see what your experience was like here at WMCT. So first off, thank you. Thank you for everything that you've done for us over the past 2 years. You've helped us with so many different productions, and our gratitude is with you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ryan. It's been a crazy 2 years. It's gone by so fast, especially this summer. It hasn't even felt like I've been here for a full week, even though I've been here every day for like 3 months. It's crazy. It's so crazy. It's been amazing, and it's like I would have not known how to do anything in here if it wasn't for the studio. Like I would be watching like these videos on YouTube or on the Facebook or anything, and like I would know nothing that goes on behind the scenes. Like I wouldn't know what's going on in the control room back there with any of the cameras, or even just
Well, that's
how
not
you set
totally
up the
true. Let's
studio.
back it up a little.
Yeah.
So you just graduated from Assabet Valley Tech.
Yep.
And you were a design and visual. Is it a major? Is it an emphasis?
Yeah, we call them like technical programs.
Yeah.
So it's like you choose that, like you choose your technical program during your first week of school, and then you explore 6 of them. You pick your favorites, you rank them, and then they put you in they try to put you in your top pick. And I got placed in my top pick, which is design visual, and I was very happy about it. This is what I want to do for a living. I want to do a bunch of video stuff, camera operating, production, and it's awesome. And I learned a lot about that. But truly, this is completely different than what I learned in school.
Well, let's compare and contrast. What are some things that you emphasized on in school? And then what are some of the different things that you were able to dive into here? I've got a few popping in my head right off the bat. But what were you able to take away from the tech school?
The tech school is great. It gave us a huge umbrella of in communications and digital media in general.
So it wasn't just video.
It wasn't
you were
just
working
video,
with Photoshop and InDesign probably, and the whole Adobe suite of different tools.
Yeah, we used all the Adobe products, and we learned everything from marketing to photography to video production to podcasting. Really,
But it was
every
a sampler platter. It was the appetizer sampler, and you got a little bit of each. You got a chicken wing, and you got a beef skewer.
Exactly. Yeah. So freshman year, it was.
My mind is always on food.
Freshman year, it was mainly focused in graphic design, and it was starting to teach you I'm blanking on the name of it, but the rules of design.
Composition.
And, rules of composition, yes. Yeah. And everything that goes along with that. And the very basics of how to use Photoshop and Illustrator and InDesign. And then our next year, it was split between video production and photography. Okay. So half the year we would spend it in video production, where we learned the basics of Premiere Pro and how to use different stuff in the studio, like the 4K cameras, the camcorders, the TriCaster, and anything that goes on back there. And then the photography side, we learned how to use the cameras, and we learned how to use Lightroom. And then junior year was the same kind of deal, except we went more in depth. So for the video production side, we would go on field trips to Westboro TV, and we would do. It's kind of really similar to here. We would we would go into their new studio and do our own Aztecs Live thing right here, and then we would edit it. It would be like a fun little thing we do every Friday during those shop weeks. Then photography side, we went really in depth into branding and how to brand ourselves as photographers or as designers and stuff like that, to use the photos we're taking and the stuff we're making to put it together into portfolios so we can get ourselves out there and have a portfolio ready for when we leave high school. And then senior year, we went back to the graphic design side, but really at this point, the big focus is the senior project. So they want you to just take anything you've learned from the last 4 years, and not just anything, but a lot of the things you learned, and put it into one project to use all the different elements you use. So it's not just graphic design, it's the graphic design, it's the photography, it's the portfolio, it's all of that. And it was great. I focused mine on my album that I released a few months ago and all the marketing that went along with it. So it was the graphic design for the album arts and the Instagram posts and all the visuals. And then there's all the music videos and the lyric videos and the album photo shoots, and everything went into that. And I made a big slideshow with everything that went along with it. And that was great. But yeah, just in general, a lot that I learned at Assabet helped me a lot here, with the video editing and just how to use a camera in general. But there's so much here that like I didn't get to experience there, which you guys really helped me with like all of like the tech we got back there with the eCam and the R TriCaster and all the lighting and stuff. Like it's really in depth here, and it's amazing that you guys have this.
You were first introduced to me because you had a scout project, I believe,
Yeah.
and you called up and you said, "Oh, I need volunteer hours or something," and you just swung in very early on, and your skill and aptitude for taking on new projects was tremendous. And our previous model here at the studio had always been that if we would do a summer internship, and it was up until we met you, it was always someone who was in college. And I reached out to our board of directors and I said, that has to change this year because we have this young man named Jack Brzenk who has the full package. He has such a great drive to work and just great skills. And there are skills that I'm just blowing a lot of smoke your way. It's all good stuff. So hope your head doesn't explode. There are skills that can be taught, but then there's a natural aptitude of how to put all the pieces together. And right from the beginning, I had you doing very simple, just sort of graphics and slides for a bulletin board, and that's always been the busy work that you've had that you've done so willingly. But you have a knack for fonts and colors and making images cohesive and come together. And it can't be taught, and I mean, it can be taught within reason. But you have a real skill there, and it's very exciting how we've seen it even grow over the past 2 years. And the fact that I don't have to hover over your shoulder all the time, that I trust you, that we've grown to trust each other, and getting the job done, and the level at which you've been delivering work has been really, really awesome. It's been great having you here.
Yeah, it's been crazy. But what you said pretty much sums it up. Well, I remember it because I first came in here. I remember it was for a little interview because we were doing promo for my Eagle Scout project.
Right.
And I came in, and that's how I was introduced to the studio. And I remember we had a conversation after where I was telling you about everything I'm doing at Assabet. And you're like, oh, keep in touch. We might get to do stuff in the future. And I think it was both for becoming an Eagle Scout and for NHS volunteer hours at school. I just needed like a few more hours. So I reached out to you. I was like, hey, can I just like work a day in the office, see how it goes? I can help out with whatever. And I came in, and it was great. Like it was just like, I remember it was like a slow day, but there's still stuff to work on. Like you gave me little like projects that I had to tweak and like little stuff like that. And then I remember my first intern year, I did a lot of archiving in the back, taking it was so cool. Like it's just so interesting. It was taking all the old tapes and all the old like Marlborough Minutes and like all their old news segments and putting it into the computer and like seeing these things that like people haven't seen since they aired. Like no one has seen that except like that. It felt like I was rediscovering stuff for the first time. It was really cool.
Well, that's awesome to hear you excited about that, because that's something that drives me here in community television too. And I'm glad that sort of has rubbed off on you, is the importance of archiving the community. And if it just lives in a shelf in a box up there and no one gets to see it, then who does it serve? And the more we can preserve what we're doing every day, so that's why we're so active, just posting stuff on Facebook, on YouTube, and getting it out there, so that 10, 50, 100, 200 years from now, people will be able to see what Marlborough was up to right now.
It's so important. And that stuff is going away so easily now, where like if you just wait like another few weeks, that tape just might not work anymore just because it's so old. And it's too dusty or whatever. And like even like I remember the only frustrating part about that job was that like it just wouldn't work sometimes. Like you'd be halfway through a tape and then the whole thing would crash because there's something wrong with like that part of the footage. But like other than that, it was just so cool, like seeing those little things. And there's so many like shoots that we've done that have been so fun to go on, especially like the on location ones. Like the both years we've done the charity golf tournament with the Women's Association. That was so much fun. Like just going and like interviewing all the people and like having to draft the questions and reach out to them. Like it felt like I was like, I'm not doing community television. I felt like I was like a journalist for like an actual like big budget like news station. It's crazy.
And also it's sort of in tune with our mission too, to support nonprofits. And it makes you feel good about the work when you know that
Yeah.
it's good work that other people are doing. You're helping promote people that are doing research
Exactly.
for cancer, is what
Yeah.
that golf tournament does every
It's
year.
amazing.
So of course we want to put our efforts into it because it makes us feel good at the end of
Yeah.
the day too.
Yeah.
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 Two different things that I've really seen you grow in are your sort of ownership of the studio and all the technology here. And it's been great seeing you just be so at home behind a video switcher to just be able to switch a multicam talk show and manage the audio simultaneously and see it, you reach a point where there's no sense of panic whatsoever, where early on, it's scary. You don't want to make a mistake and you don't, but you've grown to know this equipment really well, and it's been awesome just seeing you, to take to that.
Yeah, it's been awesome to use. It's so fun just sitting back there and like watching you interview someone or just any of the shows and like having to figure out, okay, that person's talking, they're about to stop talking, need to switch to them. Or, oh, they're both going to interact with each other, we need to switch to the middle cam. And just like stuff with that, like that. Like it was very hard at first, and it was very, like what you said, it's very scary because it's like, oh my God, I do not want to mess up this person's show that they have, that they come in for like once a month. Like I cannot ruin this. And you're like trying to like make sure you're hitting the right buttons. And that was very scary. But now it's just like, okay, let's sit down and do it. And like you're just switching between. It's like following a conversation, and it's like it's almost like therapeutic in a way.
Yeah.
To just like listen and like follow through. It's nice.
What are your plans for college? What's next for you?
I'm going to Bryant University in Rhode Island to study communications. And communications is a huge like umbrella term of like a bunch of different things. But I really want to focus on what we're doing here with video production. I want to be a camera operator or a producer, or like even just like switching. Like I love switching.
Yeah.
And so anything like that where I'm involved in like a newsroom or a studio, I'm happy. And that's what I want to work on. I also love like being in front of the camera and doing stuff. So I think I want to do a lot of like personal projects in college, or like little like short films and stuff like that. And because editing's a lot of fun. I don't know, I just want to like grow as like a producer, filmmaker, artist, whatever you want to place the term as.
Wonderful. Well, we're gonna miss you, and thanks for agreeing to just pop in. I know I didn't even tell you yesterday. Oh, I want to do an interview with you today, but you look sharp, and
Thank you.
You're nice and tan from vacation.
I know. Yeah. Thank you.
So it's been wonderful having you, and please don't be a stranger. If you're back for a winter break or for Thanksgiving and want to help out with a football game, we'd love to have you back. And that goes for all of our other interns too. I know you're watching, Emma. You're always welcome back here. So
hope I'll be back next year.
Excellent.
I love it here. Thank you so much for everything you've done for me and everything all the opportunities I've had. Thank you so much.
Our pleasure. And that brings us to the end of another episode of Marlborough Minute. I'm Ryan Malyar, and thanks for watching.